and go up to the start for the Prince of Wales Challenge Cup. It's the intermediate level for quadruple sculls. Leander Club have won it 10 times. You can see they are again in the final against the men from Skøll from the Netherlands. And the headwinds blow down the course. There's the famous red and white colours of the Skøll Club, the club that are based on the Amstel in Amsterdam. Algemene, Amsterdamsche, Studenten, Roeivereniging, Skøll, to give them their full name, and Leander Club, to give them their full name, the local club here. Sounds a bit like Phelpsy being the umpire there, Richard Phelps, who will take his duties on as chairman of the regatta, I think, next year.
I think so. Just the crew's not quite happy with their lines off the start there. They'll just have a little bit of a reset. Just gather their breaths again.
Well, we've seen some amazing races in this regatta, and thanks to the likes of Miles Devereux, Levin Graff, Oliver Costley and John Keating in the Leander boat, we have seen some real excitement. They've rowed through crews. They know how to win from any position in the race, and they're right on pole position to retain this Prince of Wales Cup for Leander.
Leander Club so dominant in the Prince of Wales Challenge Cup since 2010. They've won it 10 times. They even went on a streak of 6 in a row between 2010 and 2015. So this really is Leander's competition to lose in recent years. And here they are out in front at the moment against Skøll from the Netherlands.
So Leander Club stroked by Miles Devereux. We talked a lot about him in the regatta. Just on the fringes of the British squad was Spare in Belgrade. Levin Graff in the 3-seat. From Durham, learned to row at Rob Roy, working in a mental health startup called Mind Data, such an important field to work in. Oliver Costley, we talked about him, the former Clare's Court schoolboy. Won the Foley in 2016, I think.
Foley as part of a triple campaign. He won everything. He won the Schools Head of the River, the National Schools Regatta, and then crowned it all off with a Foley Challenge Cup win before heading off to Newcastle University. And now he's down at Leander Club, and he's won this event, the Prince of Wales, 2021, 22, 23, and looking for a 4th title in a row. Incredible. And
bow John Keating, who wants to give a mention to his mum and dad, Valerie and Jim. Hi, Valerie and Jim, if you're watching this or you're one of the crowd on the bank with your umbrella. Coaches at, I think, Bradley School. Skøll coming back into it a bit on the far side. They look very smooth, very fluid. This is going to go all the way, this race. So we are now looking at the final of the Prince of Wales Challenge Cup for intermediate men's quadruple sculls. The crew on the right of your picture are the crew from Netherlands, Skøll, and they are pretty much just a little bit down on the crew on the left, Leander Club. They are the holders of this event, and we are coming up to, I guess, around 500 metres, probably another 1,600 to go, Fergus.
Yeah, Leander Club in that opening 100 metres really stuck it to the Dutch crew. They blasted out, and it just took Skøll just a little bit longer to get themselves up and running, but that cruising pace, that rhythm that they've been able to establish in the last 200, 300 metres or so has brought them right into contention with Leander Club racing on home water. They're the favourites here in front of a partisan crowd, some might say, but the Dutch crew, I mean, they won here before in this event, and they certainly won't be going down without a fight.
Yeah, the Dutch team from Skøll have won this once back in 2018 compared to Leander's 10, so it would be an upset. But as they move away, Bauer, Sten Posner used to be a competitive swimmer before he took to rowing. Nicholas Dirktwager in the 2-seat, Persin van Heyen in 3, and Mats von Saben in the stroke seat. He's furthest away from us. And I'll tell you what, looking at these Dutch boys, they give you the score on the 2K on the RP3, and you can tell us what that is in a moment. But Sten in the bow seat, he's got a 5:44. Nick in the 2-seat, a 5:48. Persin has got a 5:47. And Mats has got a 5:49. With scores like that, how can Leander hope to compete?
Well, I think this Leander crew has to rely on their technique and their time together. They'll have been training all year for this. This is their backyard, the Henley stretch. They row just beyond the finish line, but they're technically incredibly well drilled by Ali Brown, who coached the crew to wins for their last 3 years in this event. So it's technique, I think, against brute force and raw strength. that the Dutch crew are bringing to this, and those two combinations, strength against technique, right now it's bow ball to bow ball.
Yeah, although to be fair to Tim Cox, he does a great job, I think, coaching that Dutch crew. And of course, minds are drawn on. I wonder if they're watching Lenny van Leeuwen, Finn Verwijn, Tone of Eaton and Koen Mertemakers. The Dutch, of course, 2021 Olympic champions in Tokyo in the men's quad. Hot favourites to take gold this year in Paris, but Leander, again on the less favoured station, are making a move.
They've kicked on impressively well here in the middle stages. They came through Queen's University Belfast in the semi-finals yesterday, whilst Skøll had to beat that really impressive star and arrow outfit. And what was interesting, looking back on some of the times, it was the Leander Club crew that were quicker. They were quicker, 2 seconds to the barrier, 2 seconds to volley, and here they are stepping on again. So that experience that they had perhaps in the first stages of this race is really paying dividends now. That start they were able to build up and establish.
I'll tell you what, that's a massive move they've made. We're just coming into the last quarter of this race, and Leander have put their cards down. They've said, right, Skøll, beat that. They have laid it down. Will Leander have a sprint finish? Will Skøll, with those incredibly powerful 2K erg scores, be able to find something in them to come back? There is the bowman, John Keating, his mum and dad watching. Wow, what a race.
What a race to be a part of for these athletes. It's so close between these two crews, and now we see Leander Club have just stepped on. They're getting closer and closer into the enclosures that will be packed full of Leander Club fans, and it just looks like they're etching out that advantage they got even further, nearly moving out to about a length or so's lead.
Skøll there, still looking good, but they need to find a sprint. The Dutch are famed for their sprint. We're looking at Sten Posma, the 24-year-old, in the bows of this boat. They're all youngsters, this crew. Probably go into the LA development squad for 2028, but they need a win here to leave this season with a smile on their faces.
Yeah, they did a 5:52 out at the Holland-Becker to beat the Dutch development team, but they've only been together 5 weeks, so perhaps that lack of time together, that lack of opportunity to build cohesion is just starting to suffer a little bit at the moment as Leander Club again step up as they find another gear passing in front of Regatta enclosure.
And there are so many Henley winners in this quad. It's that experience. They will know what it takes to win, even on the less favoured station, Fergus, from this point in the race.
Yeah, Ollie Costley, as we said, he's won 3 times already. But here we go, the Dutch moving in towards the middle of the race. That's going to cost them that big yank on the steering. It's not what they want to be doing at the moment. It's the last thing you want to be doing as you're coming into Stewards enclosure, and Leander Club still keep their composure and continue to move away.
Composure, that's a great word. Leander have put the pressure on the Dutch, and you can see the pressure has told on the Dutch. They lost their steering, they lost their rhythm and their form, but Leander, they are keeping it right through to the end. Miles Debro, Levin Graff, Oliver Costley and John Keating, you beauties. 11 wins in the Prince of Wales for Leander. You can see what it means to them. Skøll have to be settled with that second place in the regatta. The Colgan Foundation there on the boat, Sean Colgan and BB, who support and sponsor Leander Club. And there's the crossing the line. Wow.
Crossy, I think when you talk about dynasties in sport, I think Leander Club, particularly in this event, have just created something so impressive in recent years. As you said, 11 wins now, and what's that, 4 on the bounce? I think you'll struggle to find anything that comes close to that.
Amazing, and we've got so much going on here at Henley today. That St Paul's win against Shiplake was fantastic. They won on the Buck stage.